Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, a new fire in California. We are tracking the extreme cold, and it's a big morning in Hollywood. Find out who's up for an Oscar right here. Overnight, a new wildfire explodes. Thousands of firefighters race to gain the upper hand on the Hughes fire, burning more than 9,000 acres, fueled by dangerous Santa Ana winds. And now the red flag warning extended.
Firefighting aircraft have been dropping water.
Matt Gutman in the fire zone.
Dangerous deep freeze after that historic snowstorm paralyzed parts of the South, hundreds of crashes in Georgia alone, and a sight to see, skating in the street in New Orleans.
New details after a gunman opened fire in a Tennessee school cafeteria, killing a 16-year-old girl.
President Trump deploys 1,500 troops to the southern border after declaring a national emergency as an immigrant detention bill heads to his desk. Plus, the sweeping actions to reshape the federal government, including why 160 national security staffers were sent home on day 3 of the new administration. And the president's Stargate announcement, with OpenAI's Sam Altman at his side. This morning, Elon Musk is taking on the project.
New body cam footage in the arrest of the Joe Burrow burglary suspects.
Where are you guys headed to today? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
What police found in the car.
And if you care to find the Oscar nominations, look to GMA.
There is no fight we cannot win.
We are flying out of bed.
And you didn't wake me up. Oh, you're having such a good nap, dude.
All systems go here in Times Square.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me? I gotta press the button. Go for joy. Copy that. Over. Oh, I love them.
The countdown to the big question is on. Who will the Oscar go to?
Just cut to the chase.
All right, all right.
Nothing fancy.
We might get a little fancy on this magical morning.
Listen to me. You can do anything. I know.
Live from Times Square, it's Thursday. Good morning, America.
Like how we said, it's Thursday. Good morning, America. And it's a big morning here in Times Square. The Oscar nominations, they will be announced live in our last half hour.
We can't wait for that. I remember watching these as a kid. It's so exciting to see whose life is about to change. Also ahead, take a look at this. Panicked moments during a smoky mid-air scare. A passenger plane packed with hundreds of people was forced to turn around minutes after taking off, and we have the latest on the investigation this morning.
We're going to begin with a new wildfire in Southern California. More than 50,000 people were forced to flee under an evacuation warning. Let's go to Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman on the scene at the new fire that broke out overnight. Good morning, Matt.
George, good morning. I just want to give you a sense of where we are first. I mean, that overpass, that's the 405 freeway, one of the most trafficked thoroughfares in the world. Just beyond this ridge on the other side, that's Bel Air, and you can see that blackened side of the mountain. That's where that fire burned, and firefighters threw an enormous amount of resources at this fire on the ground and in the air overnight when it seemed the fires were popping up everywhere in Los Angeles.
Overnight, a new fire breaking out in Los Angeles along the 405 freeway near the Getty Center Museum, prompting evacuation warnings in parts of Bel Air, flames and embers shooting up the hillside. Our station, KABC, capturing the first water drop as an army of fire trucks tackled the fire from the ground. That is, more than 4,000 firefighters raced to battle the quick-moving Hughes fire just north of Los Angeles.
We have the fire burning, the high rate of speed. It is crossing the road at Lake Hughes.
The fire fueled by those dangerous Santa Ana winds, burning more than 9,000 acres of bone-dry brush in the town of Castaic, at one point devouring 30 acres per minute.
The weather is what's predominantly driving this fire, and it's spread right now.
Multiple fires igniting on Wednesday in Southern California, seemingly at the same time.
Firefighters trying to put out the fire behind me. It started in that car. They managed to get the car fire under control right off the 405, but all these trees keep igniting, and in the background, just over my left shoulder, is the Hughes fire.
In Castaic, tens of thousands forced to leave their homes.
It's emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting, and just tough.
At least 5 schools evacuating by busload, students rushing to safety.
I was really scared because I thought I was going to get really hurt.
Residents frantically hosing down their homes, some standing on the rooftops.
I'll stay here and bite the lid out as long as it takes.
Fleets of aircraft battling the flames from above.
Firefighting aircraft have been dropping water right there. Those flames about 20 feet tall. Right here you have these bulldozers that have been trying to carve a line, a fire break here, just as that fire seems out of control here.
The fire closing California's main north-south I-5 freeway, forcing its closure for hours overnight, backing up traffic for miles.
Just a short time ago, we saw arson investigators out here. Now, red flag warning set to persist through today into tomorrow. You can see that it's still gusty, but winds are set to gust in Southern California up to 50 miles an hour for the rest of today. Into the weekend, rain is forecast, which would seem like a good thing given how dry it is out here. But officials are concerned now about mudslides over those burn scars in the Palisades and the Eaton fires. Robin.
That is so true. All right, Matt, our thanks to you. And from the fire to the deadly deep freeze, I want to take a live look over New Orleans right now. This is from our station there, WGNO. And there is extreme cold from Texas to Maine this morning after the historic snowstorm paralyzed parts of the South. Trevor Alt is in Tallahassee tracking the latest for us there. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Robin. So we're in a cycle now where a lot of that record-setting snowfall melted and has since frozen overnight, creating some of these gigantic patches of ice. We've even seen some cars spinning out as they try to climb up this hill behind me. There have been hundreds of crashes all over the Deep South in the aftermath of this once-in-a-lifetime winter storm.
Overnight, a dangerous deep freeze taking aim at much of the South. At least 10 deaths across 3 states, millions struggling to navigate the winter storm. Hundreds of workers helping to reopen the 3-mile bridge in Pensacola, Florida, where a record-setting 9 inches of snow fell. Cars slipping, sliding, and slamming into one another.
One vehicle crashed, but it didn't hit another vehicle. It ping-ponged down the street.
Outside Atlanta, stretches of I-75 shut down.
How long have you been stuck in this traffic?
Probably 15 hours.
So you had to spend the night in your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Residents using creative ways to deal with the elements. One man using a flamethrower to try to melt the slick ice. This driver using his shirt to help his mom try to get across some of the ice. Georgia's Department of Public Safety responding to hundreds of crashes.
Some of these patches are going to ice over again, and we really just want to make sure that everyone is safe.
In Alabama, snow collapsing the dome of the Mobile Civic Center, while up in Dearborn, Michigan, a water main break coating everything in ice.
You ever seen cars covered in ice like that?
Not like that.
And things are tough in the Big Easy as much of New Orleans is frozen, but a truly unusual sight, a person ice skating on Canal Street.
And once again, there are thousands of flight cancellations, and many businesses around here remain closed because it's simply not worth the risk to drive. Though, Robin, I got to tell you, we have seen some Florida residents adapting creatively. Here at the park, we saw a couple show up to go sledding using their surfboard. Robin?
It takes, yeah, got to be creative down south because they don't have what we have up here. All right, thanks so much. Ginger, you know, tracking everything from the extreme cold in the east and those wildfires that are out west.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the winds aren't as high as they were in the original events, but we're in this pattern where the winds are high enough to spread fire really rapidly, and this is an even drier air mass. Some of the relative humidities are as low as 2%. Remember, we're in severe drought in much of Southern California, so that critical fire danger from Ventura and Los Angeles counties right down through San Diego, that's in place through tomorrow, 10 a.m. The red flag warnings are going to be up. Then this weekend, we'll start getting those spotty showers. Saturday, they come in a little spottier. Sunday could be a little more widespread. They'll be light in nature, a quarter to a half inch. But if you get in one of the areas where you could even see a thunderstorm Saturday night into Sunday, that heavy rain is what they'd be concerned about mudslide and landslide wise if it hits a burn scar. Cold weather advisory is still extreme cold warning for wind chills as low as 10 in the Florida Panhandle still this morning, Rebecca. But we will see those moderating temperatures. We'll be back to the 60s by Sunday across the Gulf Coast.
Sunday this weekend. Can't wait for that. All right, Ginger, thank you. We turn now to the latest on President Trump. He ordered 1,500 troops to the southern border. The White House says the president is fulfilling his campaign promises on immigration. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
Rebecca, good morning to you. President Donald Trump has already declared a national emergency at our southern border. Now he's sending 1,500 troops there, and a senior administration official tells us this is only the beginning. This morning, the first 1,500 U.S. troops are arriving at the southern border as President Donald Trump launches his long-promised crackdown on immigration. The active duty Army soldiers and Marines deployed to address what Trump declared is a national emergency. The Pentagon says the troops include military police units, combat engineers, and intelligence specialists who will aid with detection and monitoring. The military will also help construct new barriers along the border and provide air power for deportations. A senior defense official saying, "This is just the start. We are anticipating many further missions."
President Trump is sending a very strong message to people around this world. If you are thinking about breaking the laws of the United States of America, you will be returned home, you will be arrested, you will be prosecuted. Do not come.
While the troops will be armed for their safety, the Pentagon says they will not participate in law enforcement. Border Patrol will remain in charge. There has been a drop in apprehensions after former President Joe Biden implemented new asylum restrictions last spring. Encounters now down 60%. Some local officials say the troops are unnecessary.
We don't need troops along our border here because it's very safe.
But immigration was a top issue in the 2024 election and a cornerstone of the president's campaign. In his first Oval Office interview with Fox News, Trump called the flow of migrants at the southern border a gross miscarriage of common sense.
Who would ask for open borders with people pouring in, some of whom, I won't get into it, but you can look at them and you can say, could be trouble. Could be trouble.
The administration also canceling all previously scheduled travel for refugees to the U.S. Approximately 10,000 refugees already had their travel booked. The president of Global Refugee criticizing the decision, saying some refugees were just hours away from a new life. And this morning, an immigrant detention bill is now headed to the president's desk. The Lake and Riley Act passing with some bipartisan support, marking the first piece of legislation President Donald Trump could sign into law. The bill, named for the 22-year-old Georgia nursing student killed by an undocumented migrant, requires ICE to detain undocumented migrants accused of theft and violent crimes. The bill would be costly to enforce. ICE estimates it would cost close to $27 billion in the first year alone. 12 Democrats in the Senate and 46 Democrats in the House supported that legislation. Other Democrats warn that it violates due process by focusing too much on arrests, not convictions. And just one more note here, George. Tomorrow, President Donald Trump expected to take his first domestic trip as president, visiting those areas that have been devastated by the storms in North Carolina and the wildfires in California, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks. Let's go more on the president's actions, now taking sweeping action to put a stamp on the federal government, including putting all employees working on DEI diversity programs and initiatives on paid administrative leave. Let's bring in our chief Washington correspondent, Jon Karl. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. There is a lot of confusion across the federal workforce this morning about several of these orders. This one on DEI calls for an end to all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the federal government, telling the employees who work in such programs to stop working as of 5 o'clock yesterday on paid administrative leave. And George, further, the order was accompanied by a memo that went out to federal employees telling them that sometimes these DEI programs are hidden through, quote, coded or imprecise language. And it directed federal employees to report anybody secretly working on such programs, and that if they do not report such people, they would have adverse consequences. There was another order that directed the Department of Justice to freeze all ongoing litigation out of the Civil Rights Division, very large division at the Department of Justice. And George, and yet another one, public health agencies that would include the CDC and the FDA have been directed to pause all external communications. This would theoretically include upcoming reports on the bird flu crisis.
And John, 160 members of the national security staff in the White House have been sent back to their agencies.
Yeah, this is the new National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, telling these 160 career employees, many of them who are out of the Department of Defense or the Department of State, not to show up to work. There's going to be a review of all of them, Mike Waltz says, to ensure that they all personnel working in the White House National Security Council support Trump's America First agenda. Really part of this effort to make sure that the White House is staffed thoroughly with loyalists to Donald Trump.
And John, Trump's attempt to do away with the constitutional guarantee of birthright citizenship, it's going to face its first legal test.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of legal challenges here. This is to undo what is in the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. That is that if you were born in the United States, you are an American citizen. Donald Trump's executive order on this tries to revoke that right. The first test of that will be in Seattle today. It's an effort to put a temporary restraining order on that while the inevitable legal challenges work their way through the courts.
Jon Karl, thanks. Robin?
And George, now the deadly school shooting in Tennessee. Police have identified the 17-year-old who they say opened fire, killing a 16-year-old girl before turning the gun on himself. Alex Perez is outside the school in Antioch, Tennessee, with more. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Just a terrifying ordeal for everyone inside this school. Students were in the cafeteria having lunch when suddenly they were running for their lives. This morning, an urgent investigation underway after a deadly shooting in the student-packed cafeteria of this Nashville high school. Video captured by the Citizen app showing the horror unfolding Wednesday just after 11 a.m. when officials say 17-year-old student Solomon Henderson opened fire in the cafeteria, killing 16-year-old Jocelyn Escalante and wounding another student before turning the gun on himself. Brandy Lemons, a student at Antioch High School, was getting lunch when shots rang out.
He started walking towards where I was, and he saw that me and a few other students were still over there, and I thought he was going to shoot us too, and I ran through the kitchen.
We was all running, and so I tried to help people who was falling on the ground.
Authorities racing to the scene, SWAT teams combing the area. Fearing for their lives, students barricading themselves in classrooms.
We had the method where you put a chair inside the door where you lock it down.
Students taken by bus to meet anxious loved ones.
This is one of the worst fears for a parent, period. Worrying if their kid is alive or, dead.
My son is not going here no more. No, this is devastating.
Frantic. I mean, just chaos. Chaos, complete chaos.
Overnight, police searching the home of the shooter as they work to pinpoint a motive.
There are some materials on the internet that we're looking at that's under the investigation.
And as you just heard there, investigators are now working to determine if the shooter was motivated by past shootings or extremists. Classes have been canceled here for the rest of the week. Guys?
Okay, Alex, thanks very much. Coming up, Will Reeve has the latest on the burglary at Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's home. Hey, Will.
Hey, George, good morning. Joe Burrow was playing on Monday Night Football when his home was robbed, and now 4 men have been arrested in connection with the crime, and it's all caught on police body cam. Wait until you see what the officer found in the trunk.
Also ahead, details on President Trump's Stargate announcement with OpenAI's Sam Altman at his side.
Plus, will pop own the Oscars, or could 90s queens reign supreme? We're going to find out this morning. We have the Academy Award nominations live. But first,
it will clear my path to the throne. You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument.
Back here on GMA, Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2, one of the big blockbusters of the year that's getting Oscar buzz. Speaking of buzzing, that's our studio. It's buzzing about the nominations this morning that will be announced live right here on GMA.
Yearly tradition here on GMA. Also found a lot of headlines right now. Overnight, a new fire broke out in Southern California along the 405 freeway. It prompted evacuation warnings in parts of Bel Air. More than 4,000 firefighters have raced to battle the quick-moving Hughes fire just north of Los Angeles. Also right now, 7 San Antonio police officers were injured when a shooter barricaded himself inside an apartment building for hours. The shooter is dead.
And a new report that college enrollment is back up. Enrollment's up 4.5% in the fall of 2024, according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. Class is back in session. This is your Morning 101. And we've got a lot more ahead, including new body cam footage in the arrest of the Joe Burrow burglary suspects and what police found in the car. That's coming up.
Right now, details on the president's Stargate artificial intelligence announcement with OpenAI's Sam Altman at his side. I want to bring that Chief Washington correspondent Jon Karl. And Jon, Elon Musk is actually taking on the project, a rift with the president here.
That's for sure, George. Just hours after Donald Trump announced this project and declared it would create 100,000 new jobs, quote, almost immediately, Elon Musk slammed the initiative and suggested it will never get off the ground.
Hello, everybody.
In his first full day as president, Donald Trump was looking to the future, announcing a $500 billion infrastructure investment with the leaders of OpenAI, Oracle, MGX, and SoftBank. The project, called Stargate, is designed to help build new data centers to power the next generation of artificial intelligence. But now Elon Musk is taking aim at it. Writing on X, the companies involved, quote, don't actually have the money. The White House is pushing back.
The American people should take President Trump and those CEOs' words for it.
Musk's rival, AI pioneer Sam Altman, was with the president during the project's announcement.
CEO of OpenAI, and I would say by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman.
Altman is now pushing back at Musk, questioning his motives for being so close to Trump. This is great for the country. I realize what is great for the country isn't always what's optimal for your companies. But in your new role, I hope you mostly put America first. The rift between the tech titans comes as Musk is suing Altman in a dispute over the company OpenAI, saying it is not sticking to its original stated mission of being a nonprofit. That personal rift has only grown, and so has the ability of artificial intelligence, its consequences hanging in the balance. Speaking with our Rebecca Jarvis in 2023, Altman said both men are aware of AI's potential and its dangers.
I think we fundamentally agree on more than we disagree on.
What do you think you agree most about?
That getting this technology right and figuring out how to navigate the risks is super important to the future of humanity.
So what does this all mean for the Donald Trump-Elon Musk relationship? Who knows? But I can tell you this, Elon Musk has been a near constant presence at the White House. He got to the White House even before Donald Trump on day one, and he was spotted yet again yesterday in the West Wing. Guys?
But John, the president hasn't said anything about Trump's claim, and we really don't know how this is going to play out yet, right?
We have no idea of how this investment will go, but it's highly notable that Musk is entirely skeptical that it will go anywhere.
Yeah, highly notable, John, and also just fascinating. You have obviously the human drama here between Musk and potentially the president, as well as Altman. Musk and Altman have beef that goes back years. That's something we addressed in that interview, but it's also the future of humanity. Artificial intelligence is not only something that is going to change the world, but it's also going to change the pocketbooks of the people who have control. And Stargate is going to really create a leg up. And of course, Elon Musk also has his own artificial intelligence company.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
There is a lot to watch here. We're going to turn now to that body cam video of the arrests of 4 men accused of breaking into the home of NFL star Joe Burrow. And Will Reeve is here with that story and what was in that trunk. Good morning, Will.
Yeah, that's right, Rebecca. Good morning. This is compelling video on its own and as evidence for authorities. The police found a luxury bag, a shirt, some tools, and a quite conspicuous hat. You're going to have to see this.
This morning, watch the newly released body camera footage showing the moment police zeroed in on the 4 men suspected of burglarizing NFL superstar Joe Burrow's home.
How you guys doing?
On January 10th, an Ohio State highway patrolman had witnessed a group of men carrying what looked like suspicious luggage to a vehicle from a hotel.
Do you guys have your IDs with you?
When the officer pulled over the men, 4 Chilean nationals, 3 of them allegedly presented fake IDs. All 4 men are in the United States illegally, according to court records.
Where are you guys headed to today, sir? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
The man in the front passenger seat wearing a Cincinnati Bengals beanie, the team Burrow plays for. The officer bringing the driver to his squad car and telling the driver his car smells like marijuana.
In Ohio, you can have a little bit, but we want to make sure that you have the proper amount. Is that okay?
The driver agreeing to let the officer search the trunk, which reveals a Louis Vuitton bag and a shirt from LSU where Burrow played in college. Police say the items may have been taken from Burrow's home. And then, hidden behind the glove compartment, tools police say are often used by South American theft groups to break glass and enter houses.
I don't know what they are. Window punches.
Police suspect the 4 men of being involved in robberies of multi-million-dollar homes in multiple states. Burrow's home was broken into on December 9th while he was playing on Monday Night Football. That incident part of an apparent pattern of athletes' homes being burglarized while they're out on the job. Kansas City Chiefs superstars Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes both recent victims.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing. But I can't get into too many of the details.
And in the NBA, Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis posting surveillance video from his own home invasion, showing 2 masked men with backpacks ransacking his house while he was playing a home game. Portis pleading for the public's help.
Any info that leads to the return of any of my belongings will be rewarded handsomely.
The 4 men from that body cam video were indicted by a grand jury on felony charges related to a string of burglaries, and Burrows may have been one of them.
Mm-hmm. But when you saw all that evidence there in the trunk and with them right there. All right.
Bengals beanie on.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Will. Now with our countdown to the 97th Academy Award nominations, less than an hour away now. Chris Connelly is here with a look at the categories to watch and who Hollywood is betting on to get an Oscar nod. Good morning again, Chris.
And good morning, Robin. Yes, and it is a good morning for Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown. A good morning for Demi Moore and The Substance. And a great morning for Emilia Perez and all the people involved. See for yourself. Emilia Perez, the opera meets Dynasty in Mexico City thriller, leading the way with 13 nominations, including Best Picture. Carla Sofia Gascon, the first openly trans woman to be nominated in any acting category for Best Actress. Fan favorite Zoe Saldana nabbing a Best Supporting Actress nod. She'll face off against Ariana Grande.
Popular, you're gonna be popular.
Who brought her popular music onto the big screen for the smash success Wicked, which garnered 10 nominations in all, including Best Picture. Along with a Best Actress nomination for her on-screen frenemy, Cynthia Erivo.
Let's go.
Erivo competing in that category against Demi Moore, who garnered her first ever Oscar nomination for The Substance.
I'm fine.
In Best Actor, The Brutalists' Adrian Brody, whose film tied Wicked for 10 nominations in all, led the way.
They do not want us here.
Once upon a time, you're just so fine. Alongside Timothée Chalamet, via his performance as Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown.
Let me be. Let you be what? Whatever it is they don't want me to be.
Joined by Sing Sing's Coleman Domingo.
From time to time I do act.
Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. And
the conclave begins now.
Popular. He knows about Popular. Yes, that's ex-Voldemort Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. The TV hit Succession spawning a sibling rivalry in supporting actor. Oldest boy Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
You got a ways to go, but you're learning.
Facing off against little brother Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. What's up, cuz? And this summer's blockbuster, Inside Out 2, found Joy as a nominee for Best Animated Feature.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me? I gotta press the button. Go for Joy.
Just moments after the nominations were announced, I had the chance to speak to some of the nominees, like Mikey Madison, the 25-year-old nominated for the first time for Best Actress for her role in Anora.
It's incredibly exciting, very, very surreal.
Diane Warren hoping this is a Sweet 16 after losing out for Best Song 15 times previously. How are you, and how does this nomination strike you? It's your 16th, is that right? What does it feel like?
I'm so excited. I've been up all night. That's what I do. I'm not cool enough to go to sleep and have someone call me. I have all my friends over, and we sit very anxiously in front of the TV.
And Academy leadership putting out the word yesterday that this year's nominated songs will not be performed live at the show in hopes of keeping the focus on the songwriters.
We know this has been delayed. The nominations have been delayed a couple of times, and rightfully so because of the wildfires out in Los Angeles. We were just with you last Friday and saw the devastation firsthand. So, Chris, what are people saying? What are they saying about having this award season amidst all the devastation?
Well, as you saw yourself, the loss, the devastation, the pain is very real, and the Academy leadership saying they'll acknowledge that in the show somehow. The show to be a tribute to Los Angeles as a city of dreams, emphasizing its resilience and noting the events that recently took place. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see, as always. And we're going to see more of you coming up. Kelley Carter is going to join you.
Indeed she will.
Not one, but two experts with our Oscar nominations live. Back now with our play of the day and one of the, shall we say it, coolest collectibles for Philadelphia fans. You got that for us, Lara?
I do indeed. Good morning to you. Also, the Eagles had to get through the snow and the Rams to advance in Sunday's action-packed divisional playoff game. It was an epic game that fans will never forget. Now they can also bring home a little bit of that frosty history into their own homes with commemorative snow, everybody, collected from the actual field at the actual Lincoln Financial Park, gathered by Eagles ground crew, officially certified game day snow. Yes, pints of this snow went on sale for $50. And for that, the snow will be shipped in dry ice to, quote, preserve and maintain the snow's authentic state. The snow was limited to 100 units, and I guess I'm not surprised by this. It sold out in 2 hours flat. Go Snowbirds. They now host the Washington. You like that, George?
I'm surprised it sold out in 2 hours flat.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, the Eagles fans are, are very passionate. And now it's on to the Commanders on Sunday and possibly a trip to you-know-where.
A Super Bowl in New Orleans.
May the best team win, everybody.
Yeah, we got 4 great teams that are vying for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Coming up, the WNBA stars serving up success in their off-season side hustles. Come on back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Overnight, a new wildfire explodes. Thousands of firefighters race to gain the upper hand on the Hughes fire, burning more than 9,000 acres, fueled by dangerous Santa Ana winds. And now the red flag warning extended, plus the dangerous deep freeze, after an historic snowstorm paralyzed parts of the South.
Counterfeit Botox bust. A New York man facing smuggling and fraud charges, accused of knowingly importing fake Botox and injecting it into his clients. Dr. Whitney Bowe is here with what you need to know before you get treatments.
How does it feel? And we have all the feels on Hollywood's biggest morning.
What is this feeling?
All the anxiety.
I'm just such a huge fan of yours.
All the joy.
I'm just here for the game.
And all the excitement. Are you ready for some more golden moments?
There's a part 2?
As we say good luck, and right before they announce the Oscar nominations, the presenters are saying,
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
We are wide awake.
We are up.
Live from Times Square, it's Thursday. Good morning, America.
They have to be up, and we need a countdown clock. Just 30 minutes to go until the Oscar nominations. Good morning, America. Hope you're doing well this morning.
We are so close, George, and we are breaking down the favorites and the categories to watch with our experts, Chris Connelly and Kelley Carter, coming up.
Also ahead, though, we have our series Off-Season Side Hustles. Going to meet 3 WNBA stars who got game and growing food businesses. That is also coming up.
First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the new wildfires in Southern California. I want to go back to Chief National Correspondent Matt Gubman on the scene in a new fire that broke out overnight. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning again, George. Firefighters have thrown an enormous amount of resources at this new fire. You can see them right behind me on the ground and in the air and give you a sense of where we are. That's the 405 freeway, one of the most trafficked routes in the world. That's the burn scar over there. Just on the other side is Bel Air.
Overnight, a new fire breaking out in Los Angeles along the 405 freeway near the Getty Center Museum, prompting evacuation warnings in parts of Bel Air, flames and embers shooting up the hillside. That is, more than 4,000 firefighters raced to battle the quick-moving Hughes fire just north of Los Angeles. The fire fueled by those dangerous Santa Ana winds, burning more than 9,000 acres of bone-dry brush in the town of Castaic, at one point devouring 30 acres per minute. In Castaic, tens of thousands forced to leave their homes.
It's emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting.
At least 5 schools evacuating by busload, students rushing to safety. Residents frantically hosing down their homes, some standing on the rooftops.
I'll stay here and bite the lid out as long as it takes.
Fleets of aircraft battling the flames from above.
Firefighting aircraft have been dropping water right there. Those flames about 20 feet tall. Right here, you have these bulldozers that have been trying to carve a fire break here, just as that fire seems out of control. Red flag warning set to persist throughout today and into tomorrow morning with gusts at up to 50 miles an hour in Southern California. And rain is on the forecast for the weekend, which would seem like a good thing, but there is concern about mudslides on those burn scars, specifically in the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire here in Los Angeles. Robin.
Have to keep that in mind. Okay, Matt, our thanks to you again. Now from the fire to the deadly deep freeze. There's extreme cold from Texas to Maine this morning after the historic snowstorm hit parts of the South. Let's go back to Trevor. He's in Tallahassee for us this morning. Good morning again, Trevor.
Good morning again, Robin. So we had the record-setting snowfall, and now the Deep South is grappling with the aftermath of it all. We had so much of it melt and then freeze overnight. It's created these giant patches of ice all over the place. And there's already been at least 10 storm-related deaths, many of them on the roads, as these drivers are battling conditions that they have never had to battle before. Outside Atlanta on I-75, there were some drivers that were stranded 15 hours plus after there were some crashes on the highway there. And we're also learning some of the aftermath just from the snowfall itself and the weight of it. In Alabama, the roof of the Mobile Civic Center collapsed under all that weight, and there's still hundreds of people who are sleeping in shelters because of the bitter freezing cold. A lot of people have lost power too, and officials are warning these dangerous, deadly conditions could continue for several days, especially driving, as they could ice over again and again. Rebecca?
Got to stay alert on those roads. Okay, Trevor, thank you. We turn now to the investigation after the cabin of a passenger jet filled with smoke. It happened earlier this week, shortly after a Cathay Pacific flight took off from Boston. And Ariel Reshef is here with the story. Good morning, Ariel. So frightening for those passengers.
Definitely, Rebecca. You saw that video. A nightmare scenario here. A packed plane, the cabin filling with smoke. Cathay Pacific passengers saying it became hard to breathe. The aircraft forced to turn around just minutes into what was supposed to be a 16-hour flight.
This morning, cell phone video capturing the panicked moments during a mid-air scare.
Mayday, 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 Cathay 811.
Watch as this Cathay Pacific airline cabin carrying 302 people fills with smoke less than half an hour after taking off from Boston Logan International Airport early Monday morning.
I just saw a lot of smoke around me.
Passengers on board the Hong Kong-bound flight growing frantic.
Initially, I thought, I was like, maybe it's just the altitude, air difference. And then I was like, I can't breathe.
The smoke also enveloping the cockpit.
Cathay 811, heavy copy, smoke in the cockpit.
Yeah, we should be turning back here.
The pilots forced to dump fuel so the plane could return to Logan.
We're too heavy to land in this condition, but it looks like the fire's out. Attention all aircraft, fuel dumping in progress.
You can see the row of emergency vehicles waiting on the tarmac after the plane landed safely. Cathay Pacific telling ABC News no injuries among our customers or crew were reported.
Quite an experience, and Cathay Pacific says the plane made that precautionary landing without incident around 3:30 in the morning. The FAA is now investigating a possible mechanical issue, and Cathay Pacific also tells ABC News its engineers are investigating and performing inspections on that plane to figure out the cause of all that smoke. Guys.
Wow, so scary. Okay, Ariel, thanks very much. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, the man arrested for allegedly injecting his clients with counterfeit Botox even after some fell ill.
And board-certified dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe, our friend, she is here with what you need to know if you're interested in getting the treatment, including who should do it and how to tell if the Botox is real.
Always good to see Dr. Bowe here with us. And the WNBA stars serving up success in their off-season side hustles. We're going to meet them. And Lara, it's almost showtime.
Oh, yes, Robin. And we are ready with our Oscar Dream Team. We've got Chris Connelly, we've got Kelley Carter, and we are counting down to the Oscar nominations, which are coming up, guys, in less than 30 minutes, right here, only here on GMA.
On this Thursday morning, back now with our GMA cover story, a counterfeit Botox bust. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kotursky joins us with those details. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. Joey Luther is no doctor. He is not licensed to prescribe or inject Botox, but for almost 4 years, he ran a medical spa over in Hell's Kitchen where prosecutors said he knowingly imported fake Botox and injected it into his clients.
This morning, a warning about fake Botox after the arrest of New York City esthetician Joey Luther, who's accused of injecting clients with counterfeit Botox from China, even when he knew they were getting ill. Henry Callender says he was a client.
It felt like my body was like having an allergic reaction or something to the Botox in part of my forehead. And he said to just put like a cold compress on it.
The investigation began after a client complained of serious side effects and was diagnosed with botulism. When the client asked what exactly Luther had administered, court records said he falsely responded he injected brand name Botox when he actually used a counterfeit from China. Authorities seized a number of boxes destined for Luther's office. You can see the return address from China and a vial of fake Botox. Prosecutors quoted Luther telling one of his China-based suppliers the product caused all of these side effects for my clients, but he allegedly kept buying and using it even after he learned the clients had fallen ill or experienced strange symptoms.
Luther is now charged with smuggling, fraud, and dispensing misbranded drugs. He faces up to 20 years if convicted. Lara?
Aaron, thank you so much. This arrest follows last year's counterfeit Botox investigation with 17 cases spanning 9 states. Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe is joining us now to get into this. It's really scary, Dr. Bowe.
It's awful. I mean, you want to be getting your Botox from a licensed medical professional, but that can change state by state depending on the rules and regulations. So in certain states, that means seeing a medical doctor like myself, but in other states, that can mean getting injected by a nurse practitioner, a physician's assistant, sometimes even an esthetician under the supervision of a medical doctor. But if someone offers to meet you in a hotel room or come to your home for a Botox party, that's a red flag. Another red flag is if the cost of the Botox is too good to be true. So typical Botox treatments range $300 to $600, but Lara, they can be much more expensive than that. And essentially, you're paying for two things. You're paying for the quality of the product, the authenticity of that product, right? But you're also paying for the experience of the person who's holding the syringe. And in my opinion, both of those things are equally important when it comes to mitigating risk, right?
We've done many stories about Botox gone wrong and now this. So what should our viewers look for if they think they might have been exposed to a counterfeit product?
So some signs and symptoms of counterfeit Botox include blurry vision, double vision, difficulty swallowing, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, slurred speech. So obviously, if you're experiencing any of those things, you want to immediately seek the attention of a medical doctor.
So scary because it's a strain, or explain it. It's botulism, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's when it's used the right way and it's being obtained through the right sources and injected in the right hands, this should be a very safe, stress-free procedure. Lara.
Okay, all right. And let's just get back to the very basics. Who is Botox really for? And back to the beginning, for those who may be contemplating it, who is it truly for?
Well, there are medical and cosmetic indications, right? So medically, it can be used to treat migraines, hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating, hyperactive bladder. But aesthetically, which is how I'm injecting it most of the time in the office, it's really used to address things like fine lines, wrinkles. There's no right age, the angry 11s, the crow's feet. Usually when my patients are in their 30s and 40s, they start asking about Botox, Dysport, also very reputable, and they start to see those lines getting etched into the skin.
Okay, really important stuff to consider. Thank you so much. This case is shocking a lot of people, Dr. Bowe. George?
Thank you, Lara. And Robin, we want to get back to your big series about the WNBA players, all these side hustles.
I know. We love talking about this because bringing this series about off-season side hustles, it's really busting the myth that elite athletes are only focused on their sport. The 3 women you're about to meet, they are fierce entrepreneurs, as well as WNBA stars, serving up success on and off the court. During the regular season, these WNBA stars run the court. But in the off-season, they run businesses in the food and service industry.
It's Gray again. You bet!
Olympic gold medalist and Atlanta Dream guard Alicia Gray has been dominating since her 2017 debut, claiming Rookie of the Year and making history at last year's All-Star Weekend.
Alicia Gray, the first player ever
to win the skills challenge and the three-point contest.
In 2022, she became a franchise owner of WNB Factory in Milledgeville, Georgia.
I was just a pure hooper, like make my money, be able to retire and just enjoy life and take vacations. But as I got older, I realized that you have to invest your money as well to allow your money to grow.
The pride she feels whenever she walks into WNB never gets old.
I mean, it's just cool just to walk in and be like, wow, like this is mine, like this is my establishment.
Los Angeles forward Azure Stevens has been holding her own since 2018, becoming a champion with the Chicago Sky in 2021.
Chicago Sky are WNBA champions!
In 2020, AZ made the ultimate assist, teaming up with her dad, Damon, to launch the Southern Seafood Truck Samo Damos in Raleigh, North Carolina.
This was kind of a dream that my dad has always had of like having a restaurant or having something of his own, you know, and for me to be able to help use my platform for that, it's been really, really special. He's so talented with cooking. Like he's just like the Michael Jordan of cooking in my eyes.
It's a long time coming. I worked in the industry for a long time. So it feels good to have one of your dreams come true and to have Azure a part of it, have my whole family a part of it.
For 2019 All-Star MVP and Indiana Fever guard Erica Wheeler, entrepreneurship was always the plan.
I've always had a business mind, and I've always told myself, once I get in a position of like having enough money to create different lanes, I'm gonna do it.
In July, she opened Cliché Restaurant and Wine Bar in College Park, Georgia, honoring her mom.
When my mom passed away, I told myself, like, I'm gonna always make sure I create a family environment. And that's kind of how Cliché is. The atmosphere is a very welcoming vibe. We gonna reach you, we gonna have a conversation. Come on in anytime you want. I'm here.
For Edub, welcoming friends, family, and teammates to her restaurant has been the most rewarding part of the journey.
I think it was super cool for them to see me in the light of like being one of the owners of a restaurant. They just show so much love.
When you see these athletes have other interests and other hobbies and other things that they're very successful at while still winning championships and MVPs and trophies on the court, it sort of connects those two things.
And these three women, they have made their restaurants family affairs. Alicia's brother, AJ, is a part owner of WNB Factory. Erica's mother inspired her restaurant's family-like atmosphere. And the Fever star also wants to create generational wealth for her family. AZ's proud. Her father, you saw him, told us that AZ made his dream come true with their food truck. And that's really what's so beautiful.
I love this. This is a diversified portfolio. That's what this is right here.
I love
so
the way
cool.
you think.
Can't help myself.
All right.
Okay, we are turning now to the 2025 Academy Award nominations. After being delayed twice by the devastating wildfires in the Los Angeles area, they are now just moments away from being announced, and Chris Connelly and Kelley Carter are both here to talk about what we can expect. It is great to see both of you here. And Chris, let's just start off with the Best Picture. Who are we thinking this is going to go to?
Well, I mean, if you look at the list of the 10 potential Best Picture nominees, you can sort of think, what are these movies? Because it's been hard to find them. It could be easier to put a train set together on Christmas Eve and see all these movies. But there's some really wonderful films involved. The Brutalist is a fascinating story of a post-war architect making his way in America, complete unknown. You've heard about the Bob Dylan story
fantastic.
that Timothy Chalamet is so great in. Nickel Boy is phenomenal, and Emilia Perez, as you know, Kelley, phenomenal film as well.
Fave film of the season for me is Emilia Perez. I loved it so much, and I love what we're seeing from Zoe Saldana in this movie. Like, I'm really excited about what's going to come for her in the future. I also really loved Nickel Boys. I also really loved Conclave. I loved A Complete Unknown. I got completely immersed into that early New York folk music scene.
Incredible.
Loved it so much. And also loved Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. I thought they were really fun.
You're in and out an hour and a half. What feels better?
I mean, exactly.
Talk about a tale of two cities.
No love for my favorite, Nora.
Oh, Nora's amazing, and I think
Yeah.
Mikey Madison's really going to have a great morning also. That's such a wonderful film that's about a sex worker, but it turns into a screwball comedy. That's delightful in the middle of the way there. And I've got Wicked down on my list, which I think is a shock.
Same.
But let's not forget about Dune Part 2 also. They've got to get Zendaya on the red carpet. She is the Meryl Streep of the red carpet. They've got to get her out there.
We'll see if that happens.
Absolutely.
There's so many storylines, as always. But how about this one, about the two pop icons, Pamela Anderson and Demi Moore?
The temperature's in the 90s. Let's put it that way. You've got Demi Moore and Pamela Anderson, icons of the 90s, sirens, cover subjects, constant speculation about their professional and personal lives, and now 30 years later transforming their careers and possibly getting Best Actress nominations. It's astonishing, really.
Yeah.
And people like, Amy Adams in The Wings and Angelina Jolie, and it's going to be a real hard to figure out just 5 from all of them, right?
It's going to be a lot of fun this year, I think. I'm excited. I mean, honestly, had you asked me 25 years ago if we will be even talking about Pamela Anderson potentially being nominated for an Oscar, I would have been like, I don't know
Such a great story.
if I think that is true. But here we are talking about it, so I'm really excited about her as well this morning.
Best song and interesting category, you got Elton John and Lin-Manuel Miranda duking it out.
Two geniuses. Look, I want to make everyone here feel a little bit seasoned and remind you guys that 30 years ago, Elton John won the Oscar for Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the original Lion King, and now Lin-Manuel could be up for an Oscar for his take for Mufasa, the origin story of Lion King. So that could be kind of fun to see those two battle it out, I think.
That's what makes for a really fun night for us backstage, because these are all just really amazing people to sit in a room with and talk to them should they be the winner. Robin alluded to it. Best Supporting Actress, the Battle of the Pop Stars, Chris.
I know it could be Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez.
Yeah.
It definitely could be Ariana Grande for Wicked. That would be really something.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that they're favorites to get nominations, but it would be really exciting as things sort of turn around. Zoe Saldana, I think, looks really strong. I mean, what a career for her. You think of somebody who's been in all these great franchises, who grew up just a few subway stops away from where we are right now in Queens, and now she might be looking at her first nomination.
Supporting. She's supporting. Yeah.
It should be really great.
Yeah.
Before we go, any big surprises either one of you are looking for?
I want all the surprises. I mean, I feel like Chris kind of had, tipped to it a little bit earlier. There are going to be some films that no one has seen, and that always happens every year. And I can't wait to find out if I've actually seen the film that gets nominated.
This is the day.
It's a surprise.
A lot of people feel that at home. They feel the same way.
Exactly.
And we won't have to wait long to find out who will get the nod. We are about to find out. The Academy Award nominations are coming up next. The big moment. We've been waiting for it all morning.
Happening live.
It's happening right here on GMA. Stay with us, guys.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Music means welcome back. That is the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, where the Oscars will be handed out in 5.5 weeks. Nominations going to be announced in just moments.
We are on the edge of our seats. Our movie experts, Chris Connelly and Kelley Carter, are standing by to help us break it all down.
So very excited, and I believe the moment is right here. We're going to go right now to the Academy's Samuel Goldwyn Theater in Los Angeles, where the ceremony is on.
Live from Beverly Hills, California, please welcome the President and the CEO of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Janet Yang and Bill Kramer.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the 97th Oscars nominations announcement. On behalf of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, I want to welcome you and extend our deepest sympathies to everyone impacted by the fires here in Southern California.
This has certainly been a difficult time for Los Angeles, where many members of our film community, industry, work, and live. But the last several weeks have proven what we already know to be true. Our film industry and Los Angeles are resilient. And for almost a century, the Oscars have brought us together to unite and celebrate our global film community.
During this year's ceremony, we will honor the talented filmmakers nominated today, pay tribute to our brave first responders, and celebrate the enduring spirit of Los Angeles and the film industry.
And now, without further delay, to announce this year's Academy Award nominees, please welcome Rachel Sennett and Bowen Yang.
morning, everyone. Hello. What an honor it is to be with you today.
Me and Bowen are wide awake. We have been up since 10 p.m. and between us, we've had 3 Diet Cokes, an entire pack of cigarettes, and 1 Adderall.
And you get to guess who had what. Don't worry, everyone. Rachel and I have been through extensive pronunciation training for all the names today. Let me try now. Wicked.
Amazing, Bowen. That was really good. Well, let's not keep people waiting any longer. Let's go.
Are we ready for some nominees?
Let's go.
First, for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
Next, the nominees for Achievement in Costume Design: A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
The nominees for Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked.
Next up, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Score: The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Now this year's nominees for Best Live Action Short Film: Alien, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Would Not Remain Silent.
Many such cases.
Yes, of course.
Okay, for Best Animated Short Film, the nominees are Beautiful Men.
Where?
Okay. In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck by Charlie XCX.
Wonderful. And now we have the first of the 2 award categories honoring writing. First, for Adapted Screenplay, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, a screenplay by James Mangold and Jay Cox; Conclave, screenplay by Peter Strawn; Emilia Perez, screenplay by Jacques Audiard, in collaboration with Thomas Bideguin, Leah Messius, and Nicolas Levesque. Thank you. Nickel Boys, screenplay by Ramel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, screenplay by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, story by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, Clarence Macklin, John Devine G. Whitfield.
And for Original Screenplay, the nominees are Anora, written by Sean Baker; The Brutalist, written by Brady Corbet, Mona Fastful; A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg; September 5, written by Moritz Binder, Tim Fellbaum, co-written by Alex David; and The Substance, written by Coralie Farjat.
And last, before our break, the nominees for Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role: Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana in Emilia Perez.
Okay, wow, what a start. Congratulations to these Oscar nominees.
And hey, stick with us.
Stick with us.
We'll be right back with more nominations.
stick with us, too. That was a good start. We'll be right back.
The Oscars live Sunday, March 2nd on ABC and stream live on Hulu.
We are back now here on GMA with the 2025 Academy Award nominations. Among the categories in this round that we're about to hear, we're going to see who gets a nod for Best Original Song and Best Picture. Our two experts, Chris and Kelley, do you have a sure thing in any of those categories?
A sure thing is that everybody who was in them is in pajamas right now. And nervous as all get out.
Anxiously awaiting to hear their names called. Absolutely. Yes, I agree.
Any surprises in the first round?
Ariana Grande is a pleasant surprise, I think, in supporting actress.
So
I thought she was
agree.
kind of on the fence, and that's going to be really exciting for a lot of people to watch, I think.
I agree, and I was excited to see Jeremy Strong get in there. I thought that he was fantastic.
Sure he would, yes.
I wasn't sure he was going to get in there either. I thought he was fantastic in The Apprentice.
Yeah, no Denzel.
Yeah, they're punishing him for being great so many times. Really, they think his mantelpiece is too full. Anybody else gives that performance, which drives Gladiator 2, and he's in with no problem. But he's judged on a higher level is the only thing I can think of.
Right on the curve. Okay, we have a lot more coming up. You guys stand by, but we're going to go back to the Samuel Goldwyn Theater for the next round of nominations for this year's Oscars.
Okay,
Okay, love it. We're in a hotel lobby. And we're back live. Before we continue, I just want to say it's really special to be here with Rachel.
Oh,
we both got our
Bowen.
start in the New York alt comedy scene.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the alt comedy scene is sort of like regular comedy, but for women and gay people. And I just want to say, it makes so much sense that Bowen and I are like doing this now at this moment in our careers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bowen is such a huge star on SNL. He's in the hit movie Wicked.
Oh, thanks. And Rachel is Fatima.
Thanks so much. Let's keep going. So anyways, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Song are El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from the 688, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Woo!
Smashed it. You smashed it, as the Brits say. And now the nominees for Best Documentary Feature Film.
Okay.
Black Box Diaries. No Other Land. Porcelain War. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. And Sugarcane.
Next, for Best Documentary Short Film, the nominees are Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Those are some sad titles. Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Yeah. For Best International Feature Film, the nominees are I'm Still Here, Brazil. The Girl with the Needle, Denmark. Nothing for Denmark. Emilia Perez, France. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany. And Flow, Latvia.
And for Best Animated Feature Film, here are the nominees. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production Design. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
Next up, for Achievement in Film Editing, the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked.
And for achievement in sound, here are the nominees. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Next, the nominees for achievement in visual effects. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked.
A lot of monkeys in those films, I just realized. For achievement in cinematography, the nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu.
For performance by an actor in a leading role, the nominees are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Woo! For performance by an actress in a leading role, the nominees are Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon in Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here.
For achievement in directing, the nominees are Sean Baker, Honora, Brady Corbet, The Brutalist, James Mangold, A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard, Amelia Perez, and Coralie Farjat, The Substance.
Woo! Okay, y'all, for our final category.
Our final category, I cannot wait. I feel like we should read them together.
I feel like we should.
Okay, here are the 10 nominees for Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Here they are.
Here we go.
Honora, Alex Coco, Samantha Kwan, and Sean Baker, producers.
Boom. The Brutalist, nominees to be determined.
A Complete Unknown, Fred Berger, James Mangold, and Alex Heineman, producers.
Conclave, Tessa Ross, Juliette Howell, and Michael A. Jackman, producers.
Dune Part 2, Mary Parent, Cale Boyder, Tanya Lapointe, and Denis Villeneuve, producers.
Amelia Perez, nominees to be determined, producers.
I'm Still Here, nominees to be determined.
Guys, paperwork, let's go. Come on. Nickel Boys, nominees to be determined.
PGA. The Substance, nominees to be determined.
And Wicked, Mark Platt, producer.
Woo!
There it is, you guys.
There it is, y'all. Congratulations to all of this year's nominees. It's been such a privilege to share the news with you and movie fans around the world.
We are rooting for you all in equal amounts.
Yes. Watch the Oscars live, hosted by Conan O'Brien on Sunday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on ABC and Hulu. We cannot wait to celebrate with you.
We're gonna party.
We're gonna party.
It's gonna be so fun.
Give Rachel and Bowen, they did a great job. I think they did. And those are the 2025 Oscar nominees.
The 2025 Oscar nominations have now been announced. Coming up, we've got Chris Connelly, Kelley Carter breaking it down for us. Let's do it right now. I don't even want to wait a minute. Talk to me.
We'll be right back. The 2025 Oscar nominees have been announced. 13 nominations for Amelia Perez, Chris Connelly, and Kelley Carter. You're going to break this down for us. I mean, 13 nominations. Was anything that made you go, wow?
Well, that's serious business for them. That's a real serious number. You've got Zoe Saldana, who might well be the favorite in supporting actress, singing, dancing, doing it all.
I think so.
And Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. I believe she is the first trans woman ever to be nominated as Best Actress.
Absolutely.
So news being made all the way around.
History was made. I mean, I'm not surprised about those 13 nominations. When I first saw it, I thought it was the best film of the year. And apparently the voters so far are thinking enough to be nominated so heavily. So that's exciting.
There's some kind of party you could throw for the Best Actress people who were not nominated this morning. It's Pamela Anderson, Kate Winslet in Lee, Nicole Kidman in Baby Doll, Amy Adams in Night Bitch, Angelina Jolie and Maria. The list goes on and on and on.
Those are not nominated.
All those were not nominated. So a really privileged group to have made it. It's very impressive.
Tough category.
How about Best Actor?
I was going to say Best Actor. I mean, Timothée Chalamet all the way, right? I think he's probably out there as the lead to take this in. But also, I was really excited to see Sebastian Stan get that nomination because he did not think he was going to get nominated. And look at what happened this morning.
And Adrian Brody's got to be very much in the conversation.
Adrian Brody absolutely is in the conversation. People love The Brutalist. I know it was one of your favorite films of the year, so.
It was, because it's got an intermission, and you got to love that.
Circling back to the actresses who made it to Best Actress, we think frontrunner for sure, Amelia Perez.
I think it could be anybody, really. I mean, Demi Moore gave that amazing speech at the Golden Globes that positions her really well to be a contender because it's got a great narrative for her.
Yeah.
And Mikey Madison's great.
Demi Moore.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we get another fashion moment from Demi Moore. She's just been killing it, and so happy for her, really.
Absolutely.
We can chew on it for another month. It was a great start to the Oscar season.
Thank you, Chris, as always.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate that. We thank you for watching as well.
Have a great day, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Remember, you're going to see the Oscars right here at ABC. Yes!